What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another episode of WordPress Wednesday. Today we're going to talk about, what are we going to talk about? SEO. We're going to talk about search engine optimization. So what is search engine optimization? Well, do a quick Google search. Search for anything. And the first results are all things that have been optimized for search engines. So what does that mean for your website? Well, by optimizing it, now we can make your website go from whatever number it is in the search engine to, I don't know, the top 10, top 5, top 1, depending on what your website is. And I'm going to show you how to do that in this video right here. Alright, so this is going to be a very quick, simple, and dirty explanation of, I guess, how to use SEO for your website to make it, I guess, show up better for searches, whether it be Google, Bing, Yahoo, whatever. So let's just start it right off with going through and getting it installed. There's lots of different versions of, I guess, SEO builders you can use. The one that I primarily use is called Yoast SEO. So on your WordPress website, navigate to the plugins tab, hit add new, and let's go ahead and search for Yoast. And the very first one comes up. So go ahead and hit install now and then activate it. Once it's activated, you're going to go ahead and navigate down to the actual SEO portion of it, and you'll be granted with this, General Yoast SEO. So these are all the basic settings for Yoast itself, and we're going to touch on a few things here, but there really isn't that much crazy stuff to do in this. So first section to go to is going to be General. From here, you can use the configuration wizard. It's not bad. It adds a couple extra things in there that can be beneficial, but let's just go ahead and do it manually. Alright, so now we're going to start actually modifying stuff. Company info. This is where you're going to go ahead and put in some of your company's information. When you do a Google search, if you search for your company name, this is some of the information that will come up. All the way from the actual name, the website name, whether it's a company or person, and then the company logo. You can specify an actual picture to use for that. Next item we're going to touch on is the webmaster tools. So if you've ever used any of the Google, whether it be Adsense, Analytics, any of that, it all links back to the Google webmasters. This is going to be an account that you're going to have to set up on your own because it's way too involved for me to go in this tutorial. But once you do that, it'll provide you with the little code. If you click on this link right here, it'll actually bring you to your webmaster console, and it'll allow you to basically verify your website whatever way you need to do it. So I've already done that. I've already been granted the code. So I put it in right here and then hit save. So let's go ahead and look at the page that I'm actually going to be optimizing. In my case, it's an old page on my website that I haven't decommissioned yet. It's just all the current equipment that I use or have used in the past. It's pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. I go over just the equipment, and that's pretty much it. The only real text on the page that has any meaning behind it is going to be this top little snippet telling what the page is. So from here, now that we've actually looked at the page, let's go ahead and edit it. We're going to go to the dashboard, we're going to select pages, and then select whatever page you want to edit. And then scroll down. You'll see a section called Yoast SEO. From here, you might be a little confused, but it's not as daunting of a task as you may think. And sure, there's lots of services out there that claim to be extremely good at optimizing a website, but realistically, you shouldn't have much trouble getting a website as optimized as what a lot of these companies can do. So the first item we're actually going to edit on here is going to be the focus keyword. The best way to explain what the focus keyword is if you do a quick search, what is it people are searching for? So if we go to Google and we start doing a search for WordPress, it'll normally start filling in items in this. So WordPress, and then right here, downloads, blogs, sign up, and free. So these could be very good focus keywords for your website. So put in WordPress downloads, WordPress blogs, WordPress sign up, WordPress free. And these are really coming down to what is your WordPress site about, and do any of these keywords or these focus words work for you. So if we modify this further and we do, I don't know, automotive, So now we can see different items in here. So any of these, if you wanted to make a car blog about, if you wanted to make a WordPress car blog, this would be a good starting point for the focus keywords to use. Okay, so in my case, the focus keyword I'm using is just equipment, because this is a page on my actual website, so it's going to be My Tech Living followed by equipment. So if I do a Google search for mytechliving.com plus the word equipment, it'll come up with this page. Next item we're going to modify is going to be what actually comes up when you do a Google search for this. If you do a search for something, for instance, right here, you have different items. You have number one, the title up top, and then you have a brief explanation of what that particular site is or what they're trying to do. And that's what this is. You have the SEO title, which is the title up top for anything that you search for. You'll then have the slug, which is an identifying part of the URL. In my case, it is mytechliving.com/equipment. So the slug would effectively be equipment. With some of these other websites, if you look at this, let's see, wordpress.org/plugin/tag/automotive. You could say the slug in this one is automotive, or down here, the slug in this could be automotive WordPress themes. So keeping it simple enough, put the slug as the extension to your actual website. The last item in here is the meta description. The meta description is going to be what actually comes up underneath of the URL and the site name or the title. With all of this, it really comes down to what you're trying to get people to search for to find your website. And what you put in this is really going to be dictated on what your website is. So in my case, it's just a basic outline of what this particular page on my website is doing. Another thing to consider is how long each of these items are. And one of the nice things that Yoast SEO does is it actually tells you how long it should be or that it shouldn't be. So in my case, if I start typing again and just put in anything in here, it tells me now it's too long. So I back it down and now it's at a good length. Same thing with this. I can just start adding in information, whatever it might be, or arbitrary characters in my case, and that'll actually help increase the searchability or the description or anything else that will come up in the searches. And then when you go down to the bottom, you'll normally have some sort of analysis that Yoast actually provides. Now this has changed a couple times since I've started using it, but it's overall, it gives a good way, a good foundation for knowing what you need to add in there to make everything better or what you might need to change to make it better or worse. In my case, it shows me improvements, it shows me problems with it, and then it shows me what's good about it. And that's really, honestly, all there is to it. It'll give you a little bit more information in terms of the readability of the pages, and then if you do anything with Facebook or any social media accounts, it can make it so that it shows on there a little bit better if you post a link. But other than that, that's really all there is to the SEO, the search engine optimization, is setting it so that when Google or any of these other search platforms crawl the internet and find your website, when it pulls that information to place in its own web queries or search results, this is what it's going to place in there. So depending on how good your information is, the better off you'll be in terms of being placed in there. But what you need to keep in mind is that a lot of these businesses that specialize in SEO, they claim and they promise that they will get your website to be number one. But if they're putting in the exact same SEO information as another website, for instance, if your website is dedicated to web design in Kansas, in the middle of Kansas, in some small town, and there's another opposing business that's doing the exact same thing, and you have the same exact information under your SEO settings, both of your websites will technically be fighting over that first spot or whatever spot in the search lineup comes up. So there really isn't any guarantee for where you're going to be. It's just a matter of, are you providing the information? Are you providing the information in a good, readable manner? And is the information truly applicable to what your website is, what you're trying to do, and what is making it stand out against other websites out there that are providing the exact same resources or technologies or information that you are. And that is it for this week's episode of WordPress Wednesday. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. If you didn't, why the hell are you still watching? Otherwise, see you next week for another episode of WordPress Wednesday. Later.